Hello, I hope y'all are doing well. It's December 30th, and today I'm back, of course. So, today I'm going to be talking about several things, mainly regarding severe weather. So, beginning next week, on pretty much Monday, we're going to be looking at a potential multi day severe weather event affecting, many areas that have already been really affected by severe weather recently. We're going to be talking about that. Uh, so yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Sorry, there's not been a whole lot of like frequent uploads over the past week. I've had a little bit of some issues. I had done a video on I think the 27th. No, it was the 28th actually, and it didn't. For some reason, I originally filmed it in 4K, which my computer really can't do that because I have a new monitor. Uh, my computer really can't film it like screen record in 4K that well. Uh, so I did it in like 1080p and stuff, but it's just really like blurry. So I mean, right now I'm doing this. I think at 1440p. It's like I think it's what it is. So hopefully it's not blurry. I don't. It's a little hard to kind of work on it. So I hope they get this straightened out by January 1st because I plan to finally have a decent upload schedule and upload consistently starting on the 1st. Uh, so yeah, and also if you have any more suggestions on things you'd like to see going into January, just let me know. But yeah, so currently we have a couple of showers and really some storms kind of along the Florida coast, as we can see near kind of the Panama City area right now. Uh, some thunderstorms and just some heavy rain kind of stretching up, moving into the Dothan area, also in the Enterprise area of southeast Alabama. Uh, and then these showers do extend north a little bit into areas of Georgia. Like we can see some rain moving into really just light, maybe some pockets of moderate rain, slow, like really quickly dying out as it moves into central, kind of, and then into eastern Georgia. So, yeah, not really expecting too much in Georgia from that. So, yeah, now this is tomorrow. We have a marginal risk from really the Florida Panhandle up into like the South Carolina Midlands, Columbia, uh, pretty much in that as well. Also down into central Georgia, we got Macon in it. I think almost Columbus. We have Augusta, Georgia in it. Albany, Georgia, and then down into southeast Alabama and into the Florida Panhandle, like I said before. We have a 2% tornado risk, which pretty much takes, the entire marginal risk has a 2% tornado risk, 5% wind, and then a less than 5% hail threat. So pretty common little marginal risk that we see in the winter regarding probabilities. So what we're going to be looking at for like a setup tomorrow, pretty straightforward setup. We're just going to be looking at, so like we're going to have a little bit of a front moving through. And with that, we have a good bit of moisture in place. We're just going to be seeing some organized kind of showers. The storms pop up with this. We can see how the HRRR kind of indicates those. Even some storms up in North Carolina. We'll see if they move that marginal risk up there at all. But at 19Z, we take a couple of soundings. Take one in South Carolina. And we can see, we have shear profiles. Don't look too bad. This is definitely a good two-tour. Tornado threat would exist with this for sure. Hodo doesn't look, definitely just a two-tour. You could see a tornado, we could see a tornado out of that, but it's not going to be, we're not going to be looking at like a widespread event here. Mainly damaging wind and then the potential for a couple of tornadoes down in South Georgia at 20 Z's. This is 3 p.m. We got shear profiles once again look pretty well, or pretty good. They're like, it's not that. Kind of look good. Hodo doesn't look as good, though definitely not. This is definitely a worse sounding than what we just looked at before. But very low end tornado threat would exist. Also, storms would carry a little bit of a gusty wind threat. maybe some localized like damaging gusts. And then, of course, as we go in like into the late afternoon and after dark, the front will kind of push the storms off the coast, and they will slowly die. So really, the main period we're going to really want to be watching is two. I think it's probably going to be like 1 to 5. Is probably what we're gonna be looking at for these storms. And I mean, all the way up in eastern North Carolina here, though. I mean, look at this. This is actually pretty interesting here. I mean, 43 knots of surface to 3 kilometer shear, SRH in the 200 to 250 range at the surface to 1 kilometer there. ML Cape about 865 joules there, so that's not too bad. That is manageable. And the Hodo, it isn't bad. I mean, we could see some supercells potentially. So, I mean, we could be looking at maybe like a sneaky like eastern North Carolina kind of like coastal. We could see like some of those types of tornadoes that kind of go under the radar, I guess you could say. But the tornado threat will also extend down into like where the SPC actually has the marginal. We'll see what they do though. It could move that a little bit. So let's talk about the big event now. Although there's not a whole lot to talk about as this is still 4 days out, but we're just gonna get gonna get a little bit of an understanding of this. So we have a 30% risk from central Arkansas down into northwest Louisiana and northeast Texas. 15% all the way up into southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and down all the way to the Gulf Coast. We have some very big population centers in this. We had Houston, we had Dallas, Memphis. I think we have Paducah, maybe Little Rock's in the 30%. We also have Shreveport in that 30%. Texarkana as well. I think Monroe, Louisiana maybe as well. Also Vicksburg, Mississippi is in that 15. So, a lot of pretty big areas, pretty highly populated areas are in this risk. So yeah, and then even on day 5 here, we have a 15%, just a little further southeast, I guess you could say, from areas of Louisiana over into areas of western Georgia. So we'll talk about this for a little bit. So right now, the piece of energy that's going to be bringing this severe weather event is going to be in the west. We could see in California and Nevada there, bringing a lot of heavy mountain snow tomorrow. 1,002 millibar low. And throughout Sunday, we can see this move slowly across like the Four Corners states, and then ejects into the plains Monday. That's where we see our 30% risk. So you have a 998 millibar low right there. Got a very clear, like classic setup for a severe weather event. Got our cold front stretched down like this. Actually, I can probably just pull up dew points here. Yeah, our cold front's kind of like that, but we don't. There's a little bit more going on here than just that. We can see our moisture doesn't really reach too far north on the GFS there. That's actually, oh my gosh, I'm so, okay. My bad. I thought I was on a single frame for some reason, or single image, but I'm not, so my bad. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is Monday afternoon. Gotta pay attention more. But yeah, so now this looks like about what we would, a very classic setup here. You can see we clearly have our warm front stretched out like this. We have our cold front kind of like that. We got our low about right there. We also have dry air just pushing in the backside to help and really get those storms to initiate kind of in front of this or along it, and then pretty unstable air mass as well in front of this. We're looking at instability wise here. We're looking at about, a pretty good bit of instability, especially across the more southern part of the risk. About 1,000 to 1,500 surface-based Cape, and then even down into the Gulf Coast states, or not the Gulf Coast states, even down along the Gulf Coast, we can see we have areas like 1,500, 2,000 surface-based Cape. maybe, I mean, even getting a little bit higher than 2,000 in some areas. So we'll see. Looking at the European, which I don't think the European does. Okay, we can look at mixed layer cape on the euro. Yes, and I mean the European's pretty similar. That area in Texas just gets over 2,000. This is mixed layer cape as well. So yeah, I mean we have a decent bit of instability, especially for this time of year. I mean, let me see if there's any big differences between the euro and the GFS. So the euro seems to have the lowest seems to be further south. So I mean, of course, I mean right off the bat, I would pretty much shift our severe weather, or it'd probably be over a very similar area where we'd see our like our more significant severe weather threat. But this kind of like dictates the northern extent that we see it. So yeah, I mean dew points we can see on the euro are still very, very high in the mid 60s, and then even down along the Gulf Coast, and there's southern Louisiana and southeast Texas into the 70s. So very, very humid air mass as well for this time of year. Got a classic looking little trough here. Really going to be helping to set the stage for that severe weather event. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I want to talk about too much. Don't want to make this video too long, really. Well, for Monday, that's all I want to talk about. We're going to talk about Tuesday in just a second. Here, so I mean, we'll get more into like details probably on January 1st. It's probably going to be when we'll get another video out, because tomorrow I have some other stuff I have to take care of. But yes, I mean right now, I mean tornado threat or tornado wise, like I do think we could see it. I mean, like a tornado threat for sure. This is a decent setup for it. I mean, we'll take a sounding off the GFS. Okay, we'll see if this is any good. And I mean, just a random sounding here. I mean, it's not too bad really for tornadoes, but I mean, really wind. I think we're gonna see a squall line as well out of this. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I'm gonna talk about for Monday. I want to move on to Tuesday briefly. So Tuesday we can see this trough moves. This shifts a little, kind of north. It kind of just does turn a little bit more positive here, and we see. So I mean Tuesday, right? I mean, very clearly Tuesday. Probably it's not gonna really be as significant as Monday, most likely, due to that. I mean, but we can still see we have we have our low up in kind of the Iowa area there. We have a very clear cold front, very clear warm front as well. I mean, we would see severe weather with this, like all the way potentially up into like Kentucky, Indiana, and maybe like Ohio as well. Because I mean, we have those 2 points. Also, I mean, either way, we're probably going to be seeing like a little bit of a wind threat in that area. We can see, like, I mean, just wind gusts. We can see it's going to be a pretty windy day in that region as well on Tuesday. Other than the storms, we'll be seeing another Midwest wind event for sure. Definitely not like as significant as previous ones. Like the Christmas. Like we're not going to be seeing like the type of wind that we saw like across this area with like the Christmas system. Definitely not, but we'll see a little bit of some gusts, potentially like the 40 to 50 mile per hour range in some areas. So yeah, Tuesday definitely looks to be like a widespread wind day. Tornado threat's a little like more uncertain at this time, but we'd definitely see the 23rd. I mean, we have, although we do start to lose some of that, like we definitely start to lose some of our shear, but it is still there though. So we'll see as we get closer to this. And we'll also talk about on January 1st. We'll talk about which areas could see a good bit of snow from this, because we're going to be looking at a winter storm. We're going to be looking on the winter side of this as well. We can just see on Tuesday afternoon here, the European indicates a good bit of snow, kind of on the western and northern side of that low. The GFS on the other end has this low moving a little quicker, but a little earlier in the day we do see I mean, a little bit of snow, but keep in mind the GFS is further north though, so that's something we got to get straightened out here. But yeah, but the GFS really shows this severe weather threat all the way into this area. We have that really moist air, like going all the way into the Great Lakes almost, which the GFS probably even has it going further north. Yeah, it was in the 60s in like east central Illinois, western Indiana. So yeah, I mean, we just take a sounding up there off the GFS. Not a good idea. That's a very bad sounding. But I mean, yeah. So we could see like a wind threat with that. Probably will see a wind threat. All the way into the Great Lakes. So and really the Midwest. But yeah. So on Sunday, yeah, Sunday we're gonna get. I'll get to look up a little more in depth with these 2 days. Kind of get all the like things straightened out. This was like a decent disagreement between the GFS and the Euro still. But yeah, thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. It's a little bit longer than it needed to be, but sorry about that. And hopefully the quality is decent. But yes, thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great day tomorrow. Yeah.